morning, second graders. This is the math lesson for Tuesday, April 14th. And we're going to do a review today. And let's review all of the measurements that we have been doing and the different categories. We first started in length. And we measured in inches. And we learned 12 inches is a foot. And 3 feet is a yard. Our tool for measuring in length was our ruler. This is U.S. customary. In the metric system, we measured in centimeters. And who remembers, what do we call this big, long stick? Mrs. Schultz has one in her classroom, and it takes 100 centimeters to equal what? I hope you said 1 meter. I have a meter stick in my classroom and a yard stick in my classroom. All right, after length, we moved on to capacity. For the U.S. customary units, we used some small containers and some large containers. In U.S. customary, what was the smallest container we used? I hope you said 1 cup. Then we used the pint and the quart and the half gallon. And what was the largest container we used in U.S. customary? I hope you said 1 gallon. Yes. Capacity is the amount that a container can hold. So we really needed to have containers when we were checking out the capacity of an item. In metric, we talked about 2 different capacities, a very small one and a large one. We talked about 1 milliliter. Do you remember how many drops of water 1 milliliter is? I hope you said about 10. And then we talked about a liter. 1 liter. About how big is 1 liter when we compare it to U.S. customary? Do you remember? We said 1 liter is just a little bit more than 1 quart. Okay, after capacity, we came on to weight. Weight is the heaviness or the mass of something. And in U.S. customary, we talked about ounces and pounds. And it takes 16 ounces to equal 1 pound. Remember, we had our pound of pasta in a box. In the metric system, we talked about a gram and a kilogram. Gram was our lightest measurement. And our kilogram, do you remember what comparison we made in U.S. customary? I hope you do. A kilogram is just a little bit more than 2 pounds. After we learned about measuring weight, we talked about temperature. A thermometer is our tool that we need to use to measure how hot or cold something is. And our U.S. customary units are Fahrenheit. And our metric units are Celsius. So today we're going to continue reviewing all that we've learned, and I want to tell you about a couple of pages that are in your worksheets for the week. First, I hope that you have a worksheet that looks like this. It's a chart, and this is actually going to be used to play a game today. So think of this as your game board. Now, Mrs. Schultz has one of these, but hers is bigger. So let me show you mine. Mine's just on a bigger piece of paper, but it has all the same words. So if you look, we have two sections that I have not covered up. Across the top, I have categories. My categories are all the categories in which we learned about measuring: length, weight, capacity, and temperature. Down the side, I have some other categories: tool, customary units of measure, and metric units of measure. So in a way, you can think of it as our game board, and I have covered up all of the other squares. And I'd like you to cover up all of the other squares on your game board. Leave the top, just like Mrs. Schultz has it, and leave the side. Everything else should be covered up. Now I used Post-its, but mine was bigger. If you have the little size Post-its, then you might be able to do it. Or maybe you just have a piece of colored paper, construction paper, and you can cut pieces and just tape them on to cover up the squares. So this is how you would play the game. Maybe you can play with mom or dad or an older sibling, and you can take turns. And maybe they would say, can you please tell me the tool that is used to measure length? Think. What tool do you use to measure length? Well, we used a ruler. Did I get it right? I did. And you peel it off and show the answer. You might want to stick in this category and go all the way across. What tool do you use to measure weight? How did we measure weight? What tool would we use? Let's see. I think it's a scale. There we go. I've got it. What tool would we use to measure capacity? Well, capacity, let's think about it. I know that that's the amount a container can hold. So of course I would need a container. That must be the tool. Yes, there it is. And then temperature. What tool would you need to measure the temperature? Well, I hope you said a thermometer. And there we go. Now you could move down to your next section, and you can be quizzed by a sibling or mom and dad, or maybe you'll quiz them and you can take turns. But this is the U.S. customary units of measure for length. Do you remember what it is? You'll do the same thing. U.S. customary units of measure for weight. What is it? The U.S. customary units of measure for capacity. Ooh, there was a lot of them. Can you get them all? Think smallest to largest. And the U.S. customary units of measure for temperature. What was it in degrees? Which one? After you get that whole section, go down to the last one and quiz yourself here. Now you're in your metric units of measure. What are the metric units of measure for length? Then for weight, then for capacity, and then for temperature. If you missed any or you just want to do it again, cover them all back up. If you're using colored paper and taping it on, then maybe you're just lifting it up and checking the answer. That would work too. So I hope that you enjoy playing with your game board today in your review. After you have reviewed with your game board, then I want you to take a look at your math worksheets you'll be doing for today. It's homework 18.7 and practice 18.7. I want you to pay careful attention to the directions. There are 2 parts in the directions, and I numbered them for you on both sheets. First, you're going to circle the unit needed to measure, and then you will circle the correct tool. So, for example, let's do number 1. It says, how heavy is the football? Well, you're going to measure how heavy something is. That would be its mass, the heaviness of something. So, would you measure it in liters, inches, ounces, or degrees Celsius? I hope you chose ounces because you would be weighing it. Now look over here at the tools. Circle ounce and then look over here at the tools. Which tool would you use to measure how heavy the football is? A ruler, a container, a thermometer, or a scale? I hope you chose the scale. That's how you measure mass or weight or the heaviness of an object. So then you circle scale. You have 2 circles, 1 for units, 1 for the correct tool. And you'll do that on both worksheets. Okay, boys and girls, remember, math is God's invention and man's discovery. Math is a language, and it's the language of science. Enjoy your game board and your worksheets, and have a great time with math today. Go practice this now and come back for reading. Second graders, today we are beginning a new book. Our book is Runaway Ralph, and it is written by Beverly Cleary. We have a wonderful picture here on the front of our book. Here we have a mouse, and he's riding a motorcycle, and he even has a helmet on his head. These are some important things that we're going to read about in our story today. Your book may look just a little bit different than mine. Your book may have a yellow cover. It is the exact same book, I just have a different edition. Let's turn in our book and let's find the title page. Here on our title page, up at the top, we have our author, Beverly Cleary, our title, Runaway Ralph, and our illustrator. The illustrator of my edition is Jacqueline Rogers. You may have a different illustrator, and that's fine. Sometimes when they do new editions, they update the illustrations as well. But on our title page, you should have your illustrator listed, and then we have our publishing company. Let's turn the page and let's find the copyright date. Here we go. Runaway Ralph, the title of our book. Find the word copyright. Then you'll see the C in a circle and the year, 1970. This book is about 50 years old. Let's look at the table of contents. You can see from this page that there are 9 chapters. And today we're going to be reading some of the very first chapter. Ralph hears a distant bugle. Now, what's a bugle? Do you know what that is? Ralph hears one, so it's something that makes noise. Distant, that means he doesn't hear it close to him. It's sort of a sound he hears far away. Bugle. A bugle is an instrument. It's a type of a horn. So in our first chapter, we'll read about Ralph hearing this noise far away from where he is. Let's turn the page. And we come to the dedication page. This says to Louis Darling. And there are 2 dates here, 1916 to 1970. So when you see this, do you think that Louis Darling is still alive? In fact, he isn't. When you see 2 dates like this, with this dash written in the middle, This tells the years in which the person lived. So Louis Darling was born in 1916 and died in 1970. And although I don't know who that is, it must have been someone special to Beverly Cleary, as she has dedicated this book, which was copyrighted in 1970, to this person. Now, turn the page and let's look at the first chapter. Here we go. We see the title, like we saw in the table of contents, Ralph Hears a Distant Bugle. Now, before we go on and read in our chapter, I'd like you to look at your vocabulary list. I have mine right here. Now, today, I like for us to look at the first 7 words. So we're going to go over them together. I'd like you to say them and read their definition. Let's look at number 1. Rumpled, wrinkled, tousled, or disheveled. Number 2, lingered, to continue to stay, no desire to leave. Number 3, inquire, to ask questions. Number 4, eager, excited or enthusiastic. Number 5, perilously, dangerous or risky. Number 6, exhilarated, excited, with a feeling of joy and high spirits. Number 7, ventured, to take a risk. We're going to stop there today. Those are the words that you will read in today's reading, which is going to be pages 1 through 11 in Runaway Ralph. You will find these 7 words in your reading for today. Later on this week, when we read the rest of chapter 1, we'll go over the rest of the words. Okay, so bring your book back and let's look at chapter 1. Now, a few things I want to encourage you about in reading the first 11 pages. You will read about Ralph, and you will read that this story is going to begin taking place at a hotel. That is the setting at first. A place called the Mountain View Inn. And it's located somewhere in the mountains called the Sierra Nevadas. And those are in California. So that's where our story will begin to take place. So Ralph is a hotel mouse. And he has a family that also is at this hotel. And as you're reading, I want you to be noticing how Ralph feels about his family and how Ralph feels about his motorcycle. And he enjoys this motorcycle so much that it's hard for him to share it, even with his family. So you might consider the fact that this motorcycle and riding it is somewhat of an idol for Ralph, because it's what he thinks about all the time. And it does affect how he treats others sometimes. So, as you're reading, think about this. Think about if Ralph is being obedient to his mother. And remember, with obedience, True obedience is right away and all the way and with a good attitude. Does Ralph have that when he talks to his mother and when she asks him things? Think about that. Now, Ralph will tell you about the hotel and things that he likes and places he likes to go. You'll read about his favorite room. And you'll also read about how he protects himself when he rides his motorcycle. You see a picture of it on the front of our book. He's got that helmet. Read about how he has made that helmet, what it's like. And I hope you enjoy this first part of chapter 1. So go ahead and push pause and enjoy the reading. And afterwards, if you're able, do the spelling review with me and the phonics review. Boys and girls, let's go over our spelling words. Number 1, soil. S-O-I-L, soil. Coin. C-O-I-N, coin. Royal. R-O-Y-A-L, royal. Poison. P-O-I-S-O-N, poison. Broil. B-R-O-I-L, broil. Toy. T-O-Y, toy. Destroy. D-E-S-T-R-O-Y, destroy. Enjoy. E-N-J-O-Y, enjoy. Spoil. S-P-O-I-L, spoil. Toil. T-O-I-L, toil. Boys. B-O-Y-S, boys. Noise. N-O-I-S-E, noise. Point. P-O-I-N-T, point. Here. H-E-R-E, here. Here. H-E-A-R, here. Fair. F-A-I-R, fair. Fair. F-A-R-E, fair. Parents. P-A-R-E-N-T-S, parents. Moisture. M-O-I-S-T-U-R-E, moisture. Biology. B-I-O-L-O-G-Y, biology. Let's do our phonics. A-A-I-A-A-A-I-A-A. Spellings. A curve, E curve, I curve, O curve, U curve. Sound. E. Spellings. E mark, E-E, E blank E, E-A, blank Y, blank I-E, blank. Sound. Z. Spellings. Z blank S. Sound. Th. Other sound. V. Spellings. T-H. Sound. I. Spellings. I mark, I blank E, blank I-G-H, blank Y, blank I-E. Sound. N. Spellings. N-K-N blank. Sound. Sh. Spellings. S-H blank T-I blank blank C-I blank. V plural rule. Change the F to a V and add blank E-S. Plural rule. When a word ends in S, SS, X, SH, CH, or Z, you add blank ES. Y plural rule. Change the Y to an I and add blank ES. Sound. A. Spellings. A mark, A blank E, A-I blank, blank A-Y. Schwa sound. Spellings. A dot, E dot, O dot. Sound, O. Spellings, O mark, O blanky, O a blank, blank O W, blank O E. Sound, R. Spellings, R W R blank. Sound, oo. Spellings, double O mark, 2 dot U, U blanky, blanky W, blank U E. Sound, U. Spellings, U mark, U blanky, blanky W, blank U E. Sound, Spellings, E-R-I-R-U-R. Sound, F. Spellings, F-P-H and sometimes G-H. Sound, K. Spellings, C-K blank C-K. Sound, M. Spellings, M blank M-B. Sound, Nk. Spellings, blank N-K. Sound, Ng. Spelling, blank N-G. Signal letters, E-I-Y. Sound, S. Spellings, C-E-C-I-C-Y. Sound, J. Spellings, G-E-G-I-G-Y, blank D-G-E. Sound, X. Spellings, X, blank C-K-S. Sound, E. Spellings, E curve, E-A curve. Sound, Ch. Spellings, C-H blank T-C-H. Sound, W. Spellings, W-H blank. Sound, Qu. Spellings, Q-U. Sound, Ow. Spellings, O-W-O-U blank. Sound, R. Spelling, A-R. Sound, OR. Spelling, O-R. Sound, Aw. Spelling, A-W-A-U blank, double dot A. Double dot A will be found in spellings like double dot A-L-K, double dot A-L-L, double dot A-L-T. Sound, Oi. Spellings, O-I blank, blank O-Y.